Hello, welcome to my channel, Sea of Infinity. So in this video, I just wanted to talk about the idea of like being more aware of, little things in your surroundings and what have you, not just with like signs and synchronicities in a more traditional sense, but just, the great marvelous things that are happening around us in our world and in Mother Nature. It's so easy in our lives and in this sort of, 3D matrix system and the way we kind of get caught up in things to be so distracted and, just focused on the more sort of human sort of lane that we kind of, miss kind of paying attention and observing all the wonder that can be going on around us all the time. Like for me personally, recently I've noticed like so many, just cool, like wonderful little things, like little insects or bugs that I've never seen before, that are like so cute and cool looking, or new like species of birds or butterflies that I've never seen before. Like, not saying that they're like new species to actually like exist, but just things that I've never seen before. And it's so easy to kind of, go through this life and through this world and kind of feeling like you've already seen everything that there is to see, or you already know of everything there is to know of. But kind of when you kind of pay a little more attention to those smaller details, sometimes you can notice new things all the time that have always been there, but we just never recognized or never realized. Like how I was saying, like a new little like insect or bug, or like the other day I saw a cool little spider that are just like types that I'd never even seen before. And it's just really cool to see and appreciate those sort of things that are around us, even like with flowers and things like that as well. Or even, getting a little more mystical, if you will. The other night I was outside looking up at the stars, and then what looked almost like a shooting star that like shot across the sky above me, except it was it was way too close to be a shooting star, so I have no idea what it was. It was like around the height that birds would be flying over, but it clearly wasn't a bird, because like I said, it looked like a shooting star. It like shot across. It was like this white light and had the little sort of like tail of light behind it, how shooting stars have when they kind of go past. So I don't know what it was, maybe like a little fairy or angel or something. I have no idea, but it was really cool though. I was just out there peacefully and just kind of having some nice little thoughts and stuff that I was going on, and then it just shot across the sky like a nice little cosmic wink. So, just kind of being open to those sort of things, to sort of, see and experience and appreciate those little things that can be going on around us all the time, and, being delighted with what you're surprised by. Not boxing ourselves in with that mentality of, we've already seen all there is to see, or everything we've already seen is the only things that we'll continue to see. You just never know what might come across your path and what you might witness or experience. There really is magic all around us in that aspect. And, I don't know how resonant or how accurate it is or anything like that. It is all either, but I've heard as well people say that as you kind of, shift through different timelines or ascend more, or however you kind of want to call it, it's almost like things that could have always been existing in some sense, but were kind of blocked out of your laneway of reality in a way, can kind of start to kind of peek through or bleed through into your timelines and your experience of reality. And so then you do see and experience those new and wonderful sort of things, which makes it exciting to think as well in the future as well, what we might see next. I feel called to mention as well, I'm wearing my little Saint Germain jumper. So Saint Germain might be a little sign or synchronicity for you at the moment as well, or just a great sort of energy to work with. And the violet flame, Saint Germain's violet flame, which is such a powerful, beautiful energy. So that might just be a little cosmic nudge for someone, or just to know that Saint Germain is around at the moment and wanting to work with you or guide you at this point in time on your journey. So just a quick little message, this one, but just a little call to keep that childlike wonder open and alive in those ways, and to not be afraid to explore your surroundings and explore the world and see what you come across and what you find. There really is so much beauty and magic to tap into in that way. And also that sort of, like reverberating, or whatever word you would use, effect that can kind of happen as well. The more we sort of, notice those things and pay attention to those sort of things, and, we're putting our energy towards that, then the more those sort of things can and do tend to then manifest into our reality and our experience, as opposed to just, being so focused on the more mundane things or things that, they're just kind of a bit more in our more industrialized society, like cement pavements or what have you. If we instead kind of, switch our focus a little more also to, the flowers growing next to the pavement and things like that, we're putting our focus and energy towards those things, and it allows those things to kind of flourish and grow more, in a sense, within our reality too. What we're kind of looping our focus and attention and energy on, as they kind of say, where your focus and attention goes is what grows. So also, being mindful to take the moment sometimes to put your focus on those sort of more magical and beautiful and wonderful little things as well. Even sometimes just the more simple things too, like, the wind and the way the wind feels when it blows across your face, or the way the sun feels as it shines upon you. Even just, taking notice of those small little things, or like, the way the rain feels when it drops on you, just even taking notice of those small things too, and appreciating those small little moments can really, not only be great for your own sort of, energy and mindset, but also just to help kind of foster more of that sort of, magical energy within your own reality. Especially if you're kind of thinking of this reality in more of sort of like an infinite simulation sort of way, with, infinite timelines and pathways. It's like, there's all these different things to focus on and different, avenues to go down. And the more you kind of follow that childlike wonder, or that joy and excitement, or the, the beauty and magic of things, the more you're kind of tunneling yourself down those pathways for more of that experience to, come about. Almost like being in a maze, and there's different, different pathways you can take. And so, focusing more energy towards those sort of pathways that, have a bit of magic and glimmer to them. All right, well, I'll leave this one here for now, but sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always. Bye.